1981, in the romantic capital, Paris, the French press was shocked when the case appeared. Young Japanese man eats girl to satisfy a sick desire. With most of the material coming from the real world, there are no additions or edits, and the murderer himself shared the whole story.
She is so beautiful and sexy, I decided to eat her.
The documentary film, The Ring Man-Eater, the cannibal Dan Walker-Free, has made many people not take off before his monstrous and cruel hobby. The movie today, please consider carefully before watching, because these are the videos that once again look directly at. The cannibal's crime rocked the world. That year, Sagawa Issei. Sagawa Issei was born in 1949 in Hyogo Kobe Prefecture, in Japan. A very wealthy and powerful family. Sagawa is loved by her parents and enjoy a life of privilege, even being sent to school early on. All the best skills, the best, but not even the most expensive education. You can control the source, his illness. By nature, since first grade, Sagawa soon had monstrous tastes. Always pay attention to the tail of your classmates. I thought it looked delicious. From small to large, Sagawa has always been a small person, with a height of just 1.45 meters even in adulthood. So Sagawa, he describes himself as a weak man, ugly and small. Maybe that's why he always has a desire. It captures the energy of beautiful women and healthier. Strangely is, Sagawa doesn't care about Japanese women. For him, the target must be European women, tall blonde. He sees her as the perfect woman. People who are capable. Let him feel compensated. Small part of my body. Nothing is too much for that. Until he found out what he wanted. It's not just desire. Getting in bed with a European beauty. It's the desire to eat them. Just like that, a quiet Sagawa Issei, small talk, and shy away from the crowd. But there are horrible thoughts in my mind. He's always imagining himself one day. He will kill and eat the woman he loves. At least twice in my life, Isegawa tried to carry out his fantastical thinking. In 1970, Isegawa tried to fulfill that horrible desire. In one time, seeing an ideal woman on the streets of Tokyo, he followed Theo and climbed into the subject's apartment, a German lecturer, where he studied in Tokyo. That night, Sagawa was nervous. When you're about to achieve something you've held back for so long. However, when Sagawa was about to be afraid of harming this woman, woke up. When she saw Sagawa, she screamed. Sagawa had to get up. After the first failed attempt, Sagawa was looking for help. He met with a psychiatrist and started confessing to his own deviant desires. Because the doctor was shocked and classified Sagawa, it's a mental patient. It's very dangerous for society. Sagawa's father, a rich man, doesn't accept this. Right after that, has built another cover for his son and prepare to wait for Sagawa to be old enough to send to study abroad. After graduating from high school in 1981, Sagawa studied abroad at Sorbonne University in Paris, France, where even though it's been a long time, he still has the dream that here he will achieve his crazy intentions. To French, it's like Sagawa brings prostitutes to his room every night and intend to tell him to die there from behind. But that thought was restrained by Sagawa. But he soon realized another secret. He's obsessed and hungry, eating the girl he loves. Sagawa said to himself in those years, if he is better prepared, this dream will come true. And it's exactly what Sagawa had in mind. In 1981, he met the man of his dreams, a beautiful girl named Renée Hardewilt from the Netherlands. Finally, the time has come. After years of suppressing that desire, now Sagawa is starting to plan to satisfy my desires. Renee, 25-year-old girl, as a PAAHDAA also attends school in Sabane as student in the Netherlands. From the first time you appeared, he felt attracted by Renee's gorgeous body and quickly become friends with her. Sagawa sought to approach Renee for reasons. Thanks to German tutoring by the wealth of the family, Sagawa kept taking Renee to concerts, often go to art exhibitions and have dinner together. Dear Renee Sagawa, because marriage is smart and very knowledgeable about artistic subjects, however, you have no male or female with my feelings. Japanese friend. This makes the desire to get Renee more intense. In the heart of Sagawa. November 6, 1981. Reason for wanting to talk about literature. Sagawa invited Renee to his house. Renee, as well as every time, happily agreed. But maybe you didn't expect it. From the moment Sagawa opened the offer to the playhouse, he soon made a plan for himself. Scattering conscience. That night when you are about to have dinner, and Renee is sitting at the Sagawa poetry table, when Renee didn't notice, she broke the gun and slowly come back from behind, aimed straight at the back of the neck, immediately took the life of the bad girl. Sagawa initially feared regret for his actions, but only for a moment. He changed his mind and became ill. I've been thinking about calling an ambulance, but I thought, wait, why be so stupid? This is when I realized my dream. Over the years, why not try once? After killing Renee, no matter if you are pregnant, Sagawa is still committing sexual misconduct with her body. And then for 2 days, the Sagawa killer has consumed most of her body in this kitchen. It's stored by dividing the parts to freeze. And when used somewhat, he even took a picture of it as a souvenir. In an extremely outrageous segment of the film, documents the killer shared in the film that he had a plan to eat one portion at a time, the victim's body, starting from the ass, the process that he does. Fear of crime for Renee. It's a very scary movie. Enough to haunt the viewer all night. He said no one believed me. But my goal is to eat her meat. It's not murder. There's AI that doesn't want to taste the flavor of a beautiful woman. After 2 days of satisfying his bestiality, into the third day, Sagawa started cleaning up everything, and for the excess body parts of the Renee, into a suitcase. He was going to throw it in the lake at Boys Park. Bolo, however, for fear of Sagawa's attention, he threw the suitcase back in the park and left. The next morning, a couple was walking in the park. Suddenly, I saw a woman's hand out of the suitcase, filled with blood. The couple was in a hurry to call the police. 2 days later, the suitcase was discovered. French police followed the lead and quickly went to Sagawa's house to arrest the real killer. Sagawa Issei. In Sagawa home refrigerator, tight glass of female body parts. But this is not the end of him. After being arrested in France, Sagawa was sent for a psychiatric evaluation. However, thanks to the power of a father and a top lawyer, after 2 years of trial, French judge Twin Louis Bruhors finally announced Sagawa is mentally ill and need to be treated indefinitely. In Paul Gilroy Psychiatric Hospital, the trial is over. Sagawa only has to pick up 15 months and get away with the label mental. After 2 years of interrogation and detention, the killer was deported to Japan. At that time, many people thought you're going to spend your whole life in a mental hospital. But it's the exact opposite. Because even when we got back to the country, he was undergoing a psychiatric evaluation at Masuzawa Hospital. The doctors, that's Sagawa, completely capable of bearing responsibility for their behavior. His murder partner comes from strange sexual desires. However, the French authorities have closed the sentence of Sagawa after deportation. This is what makes the Japanese government. There is no evidence to convict him. We can only let him free. In 1984, the killer's family took him to Tokyo. The most surprising thing was when he was released, not struggling to reintegrate into life and even become a celebrity. He shows up in shows, The Interview, and I'm Not Afraid to Share the Horror Story. Old times. He looks fat and healthy too. Late 1080s to early 1092s. It's a big name in some newspapers in Japan. Sagawa wrote many books, and among them is an autobiography. Recall the details of the writing process and eat his savage flesh. More surprising than the book, sold up to 200,000 copies, not over 6 Sagawa. I've made videos to satisfy the curiosity of the audience. Want to learn about one? Cannibal Killer. He created his own website, who published gruesome excerpts in the autobiography, His Crime, and open up discussions about why eating humans is not a terrible thing. It doesn't stop there. Sagawa also writes comics. His work is called Sagawa-san, and its content describe in detail how he ate and walked. More perverted, he also describes in detail what each part tastes like and how he's made them to enjoy before being arrested, even though it's extremely disgusting. Sagawa's Green Car is still released. Fortunately, the number of published books is very small, and so far, they can only be bought online for hundreds of dollars on a commercial hotel big exchange. Until the last years of his life when he was interviewed, Sagawa still proudly said that, "They call me a flesh-eating saint. I'm very happy about this." Even 1 little remorse. Sagawa is clear. They want to commit criminal acts again. On the way to the train station today, I met a very beautiful girl. I've been thinking my will must be done again before death.